There's this quiet revolution happening right now. It's not out in the streets, it's inside our own minds. There's this powerful new force that's reshaping our emotions, our identity, our whole sense of self. So today, let's explore how AI is becoming the new frontier of our inner world.
Think about it. Our emotional lives, how we see ourselves, what we even consider mental well-being, it's all changing at a dizzying pace. This isn't some slow, gradual evolution. Nope, it's a fundamental shift, and we are all living right in the middle of it.
And right at the very heart of this transformation, you guessed it, AI. It's not just a tool for work or some fun gadget anymore. It's getting deeply tangled up with our thoughts, our feelings, and even who we are. So what does that actually look like in the real world? Okay, let's start with one of the most intimate and honestly surprising impacts. We're seeing this profound trend emerge, especially among young people in Pakistan, where AI is quietly becoming a kind of digital friend and confidant.
Just picture this. It's late at night, you've got something you need to get off your chest. Who do you talk to? Well, for a growing number of people, the answer is an AI. It gives them this non-judgmental space to just vent, to process stress, without any fear of being criticized. In cultures where the stigma around mental health can still be pretty high, this private, always-on outlet is a total game changer.
And we're not talking about some niche little trend here. We're rating the impact strength of this at a solid 8 out of 10. That is huge. It's significant because it is fundamentally changing how an entire generation seeks out emotional support, creating this brand new fixture in their daily lives. But here's where it gets really interesting. You've got this duality. On the one hand, there's the comfort, that safe, accessible space we were just talking about. But on the other side of the coin, you have the risk, this very real possibility of becoming too dependent on it. It's such a fine line between a helpful tool and a crutch you can't live without.
And this need for answers, for understanding what's going on inside, it doesn't stop with just venting. It's leading to another major trend, one that's exploding on platforms like TikTok. People are using viral content and AI tools to self-diagnose conditions like ADHD, anxiety, you name it.
We're scoring this one a 7 out of 10 because, man, it is a classic double-edged sword. For sure, it's making mental health information more accessible and giving people the words to describe what they're feeling. But it's also a breeding ground for misinformation and can send people down a real rabbit hole of self-diagnosis without a single professional in sight. All right, let's switch gears a bit. Because AI isn't just a conversation partner, it's also a mirror. And it's a mirror that is profoundly, deeply shaping how we see ourselves.
I'm talking about those AI-powered filters on social media. They're creating these new and often completely unattainable beauty standards. This constant daily exposure to a perfected, algorithmically generated version of reality is having a huge direct effect on the self-esteem of young people.
And that brings us to our highest impact rating of the day, a staggering 9 out of 10. Just let that sink in for a second. The influence of AI on our self-image is maybe the single most powerful force shaping the mental landscape of an entire generation right now.
And the consequences of that? Well, they feed into this really dangerous cycle. The AI-driven filters create unrealistic standards, right? That fuels a culture of constant comparison, which in turn drives this relentless search for validation online, creating a feedback loop that directly hammers our mental well-being.
Okay, so we've looked at what's happening right now. But what's next? Let's zoom out and take a look at where all of this is headed, from the immediate future to the next decade.
This timeline really lays it all out for us. We're going to start with the trends defining our world right now. Then we'll look at the warning signs that are just starting to pop up on the horizon. And finally, we'll explore the huge megatrends that could completely reshape our psychological world in the next 5 to 10 years.
So right now, we are seeing an absolute explosion of AI therapy apps and viral mental health content. But that's also giving rise to this new thing, AI anxiety. This growing stress about what the technology means for our jobs, our privacy, our lives. At the very same time, though, we're seeing the first baby steps towards a future of blended care, where humans and AI actually work together.
Now, looking just over the horizon, new challenges are starting to take shape. We're talking about AI burnout from being constantly plugged in, filter fatigue from that endless chase for perfection, and a real confusion about what our relationships with these AI entities even are. All of this could lead to more digital isolation and make us way more vulnerable to targeted misinformation.
And in the longer term, whoa, the changes get even more profound.
Imagine a daily AI wellness companion as common as your smartphone is today. Or the rise of digital identities, maybe even AI versions of ourselves that live online. Think about emotional feeds, hyper-personalized to influence our mood. But here's the wild flip side. This exact same technology could create a cultural shift that finally drastically reduces the stigma around getting mental health support. It's a whole new era.
Look, this technology is incredibly powerful, and its impact is deeply emotional. But this is not something that's just happening to us. The future of this relationship, well, that's something we all have a role in shaping.
And that brings us to the most crucial point, this idea of mindful usage. It's all about approaching AI with awareness, with clear intention. It's about us building the skills to use these incredibly powerful tools to actually support our mental health, not unknowingly let them damage it.
This is not science fiction. This isn't something to worry about in 10 years. This whole transformation is happening right now, as we speak. The future of our relationship with AI really does start with the choices we make today.
So we're left with this. This technology is already weaving itself into the very fabric of our minds. It's not a question of if it will change you, but how. The only real question left is this. Are you going to be a passive passenger on this journey, or are you going to take the wheel?